Okay, so as you can see, I'm trying to up the production value of these videos. Sorry if I just made a bunch of you seasick. I'm getting a stand and I have this green backdrop, so technically I could, in the very near future, once I get my stand, put myself basically anywhere that I wanted to, as long as I have this background. I can replace it with any like video or you know background that I want. So might have a video at some point in the near future that is the Battle of Endor in the background. Anyway, what I want to talk to you about today is, I will try to make this a little bit better until I get my stand, is memory and how memory actually works. Or rather, how it doesn't work the way that we think it does. So we think of our memory as something that is rock solid. Parts of it are. Most of it is not. Our memory is actually mainly based on our emotional state at the time that we're trying to remember. Now, this woman who you're watching in this video, she's talking about her aunt, an experience that her mom had and related to her aunt, and then her aunt absolutely believes that she was there, even though she wasn't, and it's provable that she wasn't. The problem is that according to her aunt's history, she was. And it's going to be hard to convince her that she wasn't, even though she wasn't. So, does that make her aunt a liar? Technically, no, because her memory places her there. So her memory remembers it, even though it never happened that way. So I realize it's kind of confusing, and that's the whole point of it. It is confusing. Our memory doesn't work the way that we think it does. It doesn't work the way it's supposed to, for the most part. Instead, our memory is a hodgepodge of things that actually happened to us, inklings of things that might have happened to us, and some other stuff just shoved in there for good measure. Everything is based on an emotional response to things that are happening in our daily lives. So, we might remember something differently depending on our mood. Good mood, remember things differently. Bad mood, remember things differently. The second video I posted is about how we shape our own reality. Take a bad memory, not the worst one you've had. Don't do that to yourself. But take a bad memory, and then, like the person in the video said, just put it up against a whole bunch of good, strong memories where you felt powerful. And if you hold those in your brain at the same time, those memories get less and less powerful. The thing is that this is what I do technically with EMDR. I don't change your memory. I just desensitize you to it. Meaning, I take something that was really bad and really painful and really traumatic, and I just make it I make your psyche a little less sensitive to it. And just by doing this, over and over and over again, one memory leads to another memory, which leads to another memory, which leads to another memory, which leads to another memory. We do this enough time, and what happens? The original memory gets desensitized. And you stop thinking about it as the worst thing ever, or a bad thing, or, and we've used it on rape and sexual assault, and people who have been sexually abused as children physically abuses children, people who have reasons that they should be serial killers. We've used EMDR to desensitize those memories. They don't forget them, they're just not as, they're not going to send you over to the dark side of the force anymore, if you get what I'm saying. It's bad, ain't good, but it's not terrible. Not as terrible as it used to be. And so what we need to do is we need to train ourselves to know that memories, it's less important what actually happens in our memory and more important what we're thinking at the present moment. So the memory can be bad, but the present moment can make it worse. The memory can be terrible, but our emotional state in the present moment could make it bearable. So you put this together and the problem becomes is we are products of the events that happen to us. Who we are today is a product of the events that happen to us in our entire lives. But what happens if we can't trust our memories of those events? And I'm not saying you can't trust them at all. I'm just saying, what if they didn't happen exactly like you thought they did? What if they happened differently? What would you do? It's a good question. It's a question that we need to ask ourselves and figure out. Have a good one.